We'll call the meeting to order. So, we have the agenda circulated in your package. We have a motion to approve the agenda or.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Very minded, nay, carried. Just on that, with Councillor Oaks here tonight, he sends his regrets. So we just want to note that he's Irish clean the day was trying to get finished next day or two or something like that. So he sends his regrets. Any declarations of conflict of interest based on the agenda? Hearing none. So the approval of the previous minutes were circulated in your package from our meeting on September 22nd. Need the approval of those minutes.
So make a motion to approve the minutes from Monday, September 22nd.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Any business running from those minutes?
Was there a letter sent to Andy Fowler? I think that was the next one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, so on the electric submarines wind project, and we sent a letter to MB Power. There's some concerns with the power line for a new transmission line coming from Beach Woods to that site, potential site. So, so there was a public meeting on November 5th. I just sent you the notice today. It's on, and at the Glasgow Rec Center, and the company will be there. The MB Power will be there to explain the route, their potential route, and go over all that. So I encourage all the residents and whoever wants to go to the Postal Rec Center on November 5th. And it's from 5 till 8. And so we just got the notice today, so we'll put it on social media and put that with the Postal store and Jennifer stores and Bath and everywhere in between. And that way citizens come ask questions. It's an open house format. It will be, so not a town hall, so open house. So yeah, so to answer your question, MB Power will be there to explain that potential route. I know some farmers and other people, residents of them, that were concerned with the route. So that's your, so that'd be a good chance to go and ask your questions and look it up. Go from there. On the Harvest House, so that you got your notice on that, they're having a public meeting October 22nd at the Argyle Community Hall on that, his proposal, and
What time is that?
6 o'clock. And there's posters up, and he's notified a whole bunch of calls on people in that surrounding area on his proposal for a youth addiction center in 211 Divine Road. So it's an open house, people can come ask questions, and get clarification and make comments or whatever. That's what the public meetings are for. So that there, and if any council, I'm gonna be attending obviously, and as Joel presented that to council, he'll present the same presentation to the public and take questions and comments, that's right. So I'll just give you a quick update on Curtis Road and Bristol Heights. As you know, they're both done the paving, and they're doing the shouldering on Bristol Heights, I think today or tomorrow. They gotta finish it, shouldering, so it looks like a pretty good job, and go from there. Anything else on the minutes you want to get an update on? The trails meeting is on here, and that's October 23rd. And there's a dangerous fence site, there's one tonight to discuss with council. Okay, next item is presentations. Mr. Jodi Foster. You have the token.
Councillors, Mayor, my name's Jodi Foster. I'm the director of the Pinnacle Correspondence. Hold many positions, I guess, in the district council, Faircross, the Maritimes. I'm not here on the district's behalf, but here for the club's behalf. So, a little backstory. I won't get this done in 5 minutes, like I was told I will, but expect probably 15, 20. A little backstory, Leslie Miller was born October 5th, 1889, on a family farm, Scarborough, Ontario. Leslie Miller was a learned man who loved people, nature, and languages, French, German, Spanish, and Greek, Hebrew, and English. He spoke very well. His goal was to be a teacher. Following the studies at the University of Toronto, he moved to Saskatchewan to teach. While there in October 1914, he enlisted as a private in the 24th Border Horse in Weyburn, Saskatchewan. He subsequently joined the Signal Corps and was assigned to the 5th Battalion to go overseas. Leslie Miller spent most of the war years in northern Pass Calais region, France. He rose to the ranks and received a field commission as first lieutenant in 1918. After the Battle of Vimy Ridge was won on April 12, 1917, Lieutenant Leslie Miller, a soldier from Ontario, gathered up his handful of acorns as a souvenir for the momentous, victory. Upon returning to Canada for health reasons, Lieutenant Miller was unable to resume his teaching career. His father gained 24 acres of a family farm where he planted the acorns on his land. He replanted the oaks as part of the woodlot, also included sugar maples, black walnut, and other hardwoods. Leslie named this land the Vimy Oaks. 10 of the original oaks soar in the sky there today, as we speak here now. Descendants of these great symbolic trees were replicated to Vimy Ridge in November 2018. Great living memorials to honor those who fought in the Great War, connecting modern Canada, modern France, and reaffirming camaraderie between France and her people. So back in 2018, the Vimy Oak Legacy project started, or just before that. So they took these oaks and they grew them from seedlings. But unfortunately, because of soil contamination being brought from New Brunswick or from Ontario going to France, they weren't allowed to transport them. So they gathered up acorns, took them to France, and they grew them there. And then they planted, there's 5 rings of 5 trees at Vimy Ridge that were planted from these descendants of these oaks. And each one of those rings of the 5 trees stands for the 5 battalions who fought at Vimy Ridge. The kin connection. Carleton Rogers was born in London, Ontario on January 3rd, 1899. Rogers moved to Hamilton, Ontario to work for his father when he was appointed manager of the Stratford Sanitary Company. Soon after the move, March 1916, at the age of 17, he enlisted with the 173rd Argyll and Southern Battalion. After further training in England, he was actually skipped the front lines and transferred to the 54th Company Battalion, which is very important because they were the ones who liberated clear across Europe. He fought at Vimy Ridge, the Lens, Hill 70, and Ypres, where his leadership skills in the field led to promotion to the rank of corporal and recommendation to a commission. Before it was acted upon, he was gassed in Perkindale in Ypres and wounded at the Ames in the front line. After being hospitalized in England, he returned to Hamilton in January 1919. Missing the Army life, Rogers decided to join the local Rotary Club, where his father was a member. Because of one fundamental rule, the Rotarians was only allowed to have 1 member from each employment classification, and where he worked as a salesman, as a plumber, same as his father, he was denied. So him and a small group of men got together, 12 gentlemen in all, and started Kin Canada. Later on, Rogers was made the officer of the Order of the British Empire. In 1946, recognized for his efforts for the Kinsman Milk for Britain campaign project that raised $2.7 million in World War II. It's a lot of money. And set 500 million quarts of milk to Britain with the efforts in World War II. In 1978, Rogers was appointed officer of the Order of Canada in recognition of the years of community service found in King Canada. Our legacy. In 2019, the CUPW Forceville wanted to do something big for Canada's 100th anniversary. So myself had an idea. And reading about the Vimeo Legacy Corporation, I threw in the idea at Bill Burke, who thought it was a great idea to purchase and donate a tree to each of the 2 legions for their cenotaphs. The idea was pitched to the members at your meeting and was passed. So I set out to try to make this happen. After many roadblocks, trying to secure 2 trees, with the limited number of them being grown, and a waiting list that was years long. At this point, it was put on the back burner until such time that we could come with it. This never transpired. On September 16, 2025, this year, at one of our meetings, it was still on the books about this trees. So I said that I would set out to call down Scott's Nursery and we would purchase 2 English oaks, knowing that they would not be Vindy oaks, but the symbolism would be enough and put this project to bed. I was put in contact with Diane, the lady who looks after the trees. I explained to her exactly what I was doing, what I wanted. So Diane gave me her email address and wanted me to send her a letter, so I did. With that, Diane told me that she and her husband were both retired from the RCAF. And she's told me that she was at a Big Oaks tree planting in 2024 at the governor's house in Brighton, where she met Jim Landry, who grows and donated planted the trees. So she gave me his email. She forwarded this on to Jim Landry, who reached out to me. Jim Landry reached out to me on the same day, so I called him after our KIN meeting that evening. His connection is that his great uncle fought and died when he was rich, and that's why he wants his legacy to carry on. He's a landscape horticulturist of the landscape New Brunswick. He also is a professional interest in tree planting. Now Larry's planting what he calls a 2nd generation seedlings, which were germinated from acorns he's collected from the first trees he planted years ago. He's very peculiar about making sure that he takes the acorns off the trees so they're not contaminated. So once I talked to Jim, he said that he had 2 seedlings for us. So we are going to do a tree planting at both cenotaphs. The only stipulation that he has, he wants it done with school children. He wants the kids to understand why we plant trees. So when I talked to Jim, he was headed to the Netherlands for a bike for Alzheimer's awareness. And he was going to plant a tree there while he was there. That was growing in the Netherlands from his acorns. Jim lives in St. John, New Brunswick, and he's going to travel up. And we're going to do the ceremony just before Remembrance Day on November the 8th. So I'm here to officially invite you to a tree planting in Centerville at 12:30, and again in Portable at 2:30. I hope I can see you all there.
Thank you, Jodi. That, Dan, you're up next.
Yeah.
It's 12:30.
Yeah. Thanks. You're all set, Dan.
I just want to tell Jodi, well, I want to take part in that.
Floor's yours.
Set my timer.
No, go ahead. We'll wing it.
All right, well, thank you. I know most everybody here, Andy, Karen. I don't think I've met you before, and Ryan. Mike and Angel.
Yeah.
All right, I've met Mike before. Andy, I don't met you twice, I think.
Twice.
So I'd like to first thing, thank you guys all for stepping up, serving your community. It's much appreciated. This is just a little statement. As principal, I sent a correspondence, a letter to town council. Hopefully you have an opportunity to look at that. As principal of Florenceville Elementary and a community member, I moved here 26 years ago. I'm here to express my strong support for maintaining the MB Trail that runs beside our school. as a non-motorized pathway reserved exclusively for walking, cycling, and hiking. This trail is not only a vital part of our school's daily life learning environment, but also a cornerstone of our community wellness and safety. And I stress safety. Our students and staff use the trail regularly to assess Muddy Boots Nature Preserve, a cherished outdoor classroom that fosters environmental education and exploration. It also serves as a route for our annual Terry Fox Run, a meaningful event that unites students, families, and staff in support of cancer research. And our whole school raised over, I think it was almost $1,200 this past year. It also, additionally, the trail supports our cross-country and track and field training. We use the trail 3 times a day right now, training for our cross-country meets that we're attending. Actually, we're hosting one here at FES is hosting one with the District of Carleton North Recreation Department this coming Thursday. This is all about promoting physical health in a safe and a natural setting. Opening the trail to motorized vehicles such as ATVs or quads would pose a significant safety risk to our students and staff. Accordingly to the national safety data, when you look at pedestrian fatalities have increased 57% in North America over the past decade, with children among the most vulnerable. When we don't have a spot for kids to bike, I mean, we don't have to go too far and look at that. There was an incident not too long ago in a local community where a 15-year-old. All right, so it's very important. So we know that fatalities have increased and the most vulnerable people are children. Motorized traffic introduces risks such as reduced visibility, increased noise, greater injury. These dangers are incompatible with a school zone and outdoor learning environment. Beyond the school, this trail system is the only readily available, accessible, natural space for local schools, daycares, families, seniors, and individuals with mobility issues. It is used for education, recreation, wellness, and plays a vital role in connecting our community to nature. I know there's an application that you guys looked at. I didn't hear about it until about 3 weeks ago. I think my letter came about 3 weeks ago. And my point would be, it's very important that we take a look at this as a community and look at all key stakeholders, including schools, daycares, residents living near the trail. All right. The committee that was formed to examine the trail. I don't know what the balanced representation it was. I didn't even know there was a committee that the Regional Service Committee had. They contracted a survey. I was never surveyed. I didn't even know about a survey. I felt that it was poorly advertised. I thought public input was limited. And I think that we have to look at the due process to make sure every individual has a say in this. I know there's suggestions that were thrown out there to use alternate trails, such as Sands or Chickadee Hawk. Really, when you look, if you've ever hiked in Chickadee Hawk lately, it's really not viable to all people, right? We're looking at a trail system that's accessible to everybody. They do not serve the same inclusive function as the current trail system. And I stress the word accessibility. Every trail was originally developed with the intent of non-motorized use, aligning with a national vision that promotes health, nature appreciation, and community connection. The Trans-Canada Trail, which spans over 29,000 kilometers, is similarly designed for non-motorized use, supporting safe, inclusive access for walkers, cyclists, and families. Allowing motorized vehicles contradicts the purpose and sets a precedent that could undermine similar systems. Motorized use introduces safety concerns for pedestrians and children, noise and disruption that reduce enjoyment, environmental, residential impact, including dust, noise, and disturbance to wildlife and adjacent homes. Studies have shown that motorized vehicles cause significantly more trail erosion and environmental degradation than walking or cycling. Residents near motorized trails report reduced privacy, increased noise, while wildlife habitats are more frequently disturbed. There's hundreds of kilometers of trails out there. And I understand what council is trying to do here. I have a four-wheeler side by side, and it's all part of, my background too. So it's not, first thing here I want to emphasize is it's not us against quad, right? I'm an owner too, right? I want to use trail system. I'm just saying, this trail system, it has 7 provincial highways or roads going through it. That's only from Bath, the lower end of town here. So there's 7 roads that go through it. It's over 42 driveways. There's numerous businesses. All right. So you think about all the times, all the stop signs that are all through there. What's the opportunity for somebody to go through a stop sign? I know people say, well, in the winter time, it's used by snowmobiles, and I agree. There's a lot less snowmobiles up there than there's four-wheelers or side-by-sides. I think we're opening something up. In my final thing, and I really want to emphasize this, Health Canada recommends adults aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per week. This trail supports through accessible walking and hiking opportunities. For greater health benefits, 60 minutes of activity a day is encouraged, something this trail will help facilitate. And I respectfully, and I think most of these people are here for the same reason, ask your support and try to preserve the trail as a safe, quiet, accessible space for non-motorized use. And really, do not make this an argument for and against. It's, when I look at this, look at the process, keep your mind open. It's, like I said, it's the last remaining trail that's going across Canada that's supposed to be for cycling, hiking. It's not very well maintained. We know, I know, my kids jog it. It's part of our community. It's really part of the community. Kids can bike on it safely, get down to the pool. All right, it joins Bristol. Florenceville joins Bath. People can use it, and we want our kids out on their bicycles. We want families walking. All right, and I'm all for going on the four-wheeler and going out in nature. That's all part of our community too. So don't equate it down to us against them. That's not the argument here, and I'm not arguing. I'm just presenting. So we're advocating. So keep your mind open. I realize there's a meeting later this week for the Regional Service Commission. So please try to listen to all sides. Like I said, I didn't even know that wanted to be applied for a permit I think it was last year. I think I read an article the other day, 2024, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I must have missed the news or. Is there,
I got to do.
that's all I
We'll
did.
probably have a couple of questions or comments.
I think I was over 5 minutes.
That's all right. No problem. You mentioned the cross-country skiing, that the kids down here use that trail for that?
No, it's not straight run. Running.
Oh, running, sorry, I misread.
No, we don't. I mean, it's not,
No, you're running, cross-country running.
we snowshoe, not on the trail, but we snowshoe in the backyard. I get all the kids out on snowshoes. We've all cross-country, the school, all cross-country skied over at the outdoor center last year.
Yeah.
Every class.
Okay.
We use your rec department. They're excellent to work with.
So, Dan, thanks for coming and presenting your view. You mentioned you got a letter about the trail system.
So I sent a letter in.
Oh, you sent a letter. Okay. I think
This
it's
is correspondence. I sent a letter in to you and I didn't know if you read it, Brian.
Yeah, oh, I read it.
Okay.
You had mentioned in your speech that you had received a letter about the trail system or quad NV doing that.
No, it said that there was no
I didn't receive a letter. I didn't even know. I didn't even know.
I wrote letters.
I didn't even know what's to be applied for. And it's not even about, and I can understand why they want to. And I totally, like you said, it's not, I have nothing against quad NV, I'm a member, right? So it's not. But, it's this trail system you're looking at is a wonderful connection in our community. When you look at it, it's beautiful. And it could be made better. There's lots of room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And we need, as much as we need kids on their bicycles. We need kids to feel safe. And we need community members to feel safe. right? If you're out for a jog, out for a run. I think it's a viable connection for all the communities. I mean, from here to Bristol. Or here to Bath. So, no, Ryan, I didn't receive anything. Did you put anything out about that?
What's that?
Did you put anything out about what it be?
No, the only thing I did see going around was that survey, but that was all, I think it was done online.
Was it?
I just think the post on the site.
We shared it on the presentation, it was just like a QR code you had to scan.
So I think you're,
Not very much on.
I think you made a lot of good points there, obviously. We respect all those points. It's not, it isn't one or the other. Like, it has to be, and I said this from the get-go, the status quo is not working on a number of fronts. I'm looking, there's no enforcement, there's no self-governing, there's no maintenance. I can go on and on and on. What the status quo is, the trail's getting in worse shape, for a number of reasons. So, and I understand all your points about usage of the trail. So the status quo is not working, and rather than talking in circles all the time, you're coming back to the same spot.
Yeah.
We need to come up with a solution to respect all the user groups. So I'm a big believer in a green trail, active transportation and all that. I was up in Bath the other day, talking to the Step Ahead in the school. Kids use that, they walk up to, along that trail, right there down to the fairgrounds. In Bristol, Traffic Corner uses the trail. So there is an avenue for active transportation parallel trails. That is an option in high density type areas. Now that would have to be phased in. And in Bristol right now, I'm sure everybody knows this, but the town has a license of occupation with DNR for a shared trail where the rail cars sit. There's 2 trails there, right? So we have a license of occupation. So, but currently, as you know, the Federation of Snowmobiles have that trail for 4 months, exclusive use.
Yeah.
Total use. If you're walking on the trail in the wintertime, you're walking illegally for snowshoeing or, and I'm not saying you are, but anybody would be, it's illegal to walk on the trail from December 15th to April 15th. Plus, snowmobiles go faster than 4-wheelers.
Yeah,
People that are members of Quad, you have to distinguish that membership from the current people on the trail that are there illegally with motorized vehicles. There's a big difference. So you have to kind of keep weighing all this and having these discussions. So my point is, it comes back to the respect of all the users of the trail or potential.
well, there's only.
Yeah.
You mean, you're talking about all the users of that trail system right there. That's the only trail. Like, I don't step out and go hiking on a quad MV trail.
No, but the other thing is they can't, I'll just be devil's advocate, you can walk on a sidewalk, you can walk on a road, or you can bicycle on a road or on a sidewalk, but you can't run a quad 4-wheeler on a sidewalk or a road. So it's a double standard somewhat in where they can go, right? So, and all we're looking is connectivity in that sense of like we've got requests from the ATV club to come into Bath, into the hospital to hit the trail and go back around, hard and then back around out back. So it's all about connectivity and it's all about making sure everybody's safe in that world. So the current status quo, if we're going to keep maintaining that, it will not work. It just is not an option. Because we can beat this around forever and ever, but the status quo will not work. Because I've got calls on the weekend. I get calls every weekend. Motorbikes on the trail. And nothing's going to change that.
No, but Andy,
So that's going to keep happening.
there's no one on the trail.
That's
I'm not here to debate that, Andy. I'm here to say that the
But my-
trail right now, the status quo on it, from this community, from Bath, and I mentioned it, I think I said there was 8 provincial roads.
Yeah.
I tried through it, there's over 40 some driveways and businesses along that trail. You gotta look at that increased traffic. Right now,
Yeah, that's right.
there's traffic, there's, my daughter was up for a run the other day and, I tell her all the time, look at your quads in, this And she was like, she said this, you know, side by side, come right up behind her, just, you know,
Yeah,
but I know they're out there, Andy, and it's all part of it. But to change it to, you're gonna increase the traffic into a very limited space. And you're gonna, and there's really safety issues, and you said there's nobody policing it,
no,
so that's not gonna happen in the future either.
well, there's nobody policing it. I mean.
Right, and so if we're gonna increase the traffic and say, hey, it's legal, everybody's allowed on the trail. And my next question for you is when you go to your next meeting, I don't know, it's Thursday night or something. If you do give the quad trail, is it gonna be like? I mean, are you giving away that you can walk on the trail? Same as the idea of the snowmobile club?
No, it'd be shared use,
It's
because
fair use.
their licenses.
The license occupation is not a lease. But the other question I had, there's other communities though that have shared use. I'm trying to, there's all kinds of points out there, both sides.
Yeah,
But there's other communities that have shared use. For Vancouver as an example, Grand Falls, and other ones all across the province. So they seem to coexist. I mean, within those boundaries. And I agree with you, Dan. The issue is in the, like I live in Beechwood on next to the trail. On the weekend, I was 45 quads. They weren't motorbikes, they were just people going along easy, and they were on that trail legally, which a lot of them don't even realize it, but that's beside the point. So if we go outside the high density areas, it's a different issue. And I think you can agree to that.
Yeah.
So if you're looking from Bath to the Moore Road or in Florenceville, it's a different than Beechwood, Stickney, or, outside the main area.
so you
So,
wouldn't dare to bike, I mean, I tried bicycle on it for people from out of town and came from St. John area, 8 other couples that come up and stayed for the weekend, and we tried to bike to Perth Andover on it, we did, but it was a one-way trip, but it's all rutted and tore up.
yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, most of us had mountain bikes or whatever, and we did it one weekend, and it was, it's a very beautiful trail, beautiful spot, St. John River bicycle on back. I just don't think, Andy, that we're prioritizing enough on physical activity. And I think we gotta look at it and say, okay, what are they doing in Kavanaugh, Quebec, or what are they doing in Edmonton? Take a look at their trail system. Take a look at their trail system in Carleton. Track it east. If you've ever been over and seen it, go to Prince Island, get on your bicycle and go across country. And I've done it, 50 kilometers. And, they sort of have, I don't know where the mutual respect goes, but over in the island, if you're bicycling on the trail, you don't see wheelers, they have their own trail system. And I think when you talk about dual sharing the trail, you're getting into a very tricky area. You're giving it away and saying, and this trail was created, and it's only, if you go out and take a measuring tape, you do good to find 6 feet. All right, 6 feet anywhere on that trail. So it's really not even the most of it you have is about 6 feet, 72 inches. On 81.
Oh, the trail right away is also wide enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I mean,
But we don't have to debate everything tonight, but I'm just saying, I can speak for myself, believe there's advantages on both levels, but there's has to be a combination there. Has to be mutual respect, right? If we're gonna use the trail, so.
So how does it work in Grand Falls when the side-by-sides use the road? How does that work?
They can use the road for connectivity to get across the bridge, same as in Perth Andover.
they're just allowed to use the road to connect from one
So
side to
that
the other.
work well?
They go through the trail all through Perth Andover. The trail from Perth Andover to Grand Falls, the MB Trail, is motorized. They're shared use.
No, but I mean the piece that they just have the road. That's my question.
They go across the bridge.
They just go across the bridge.
Yeah, Broadway.
That's it.
Yeah. And they go up to go Class Rock, but that's a different trail there.
So can you make that longer? Can you make that piece longer or no? Can the municipality say the side-by-sides can go on a certain piece of the road? Are we legally able to do that?
Well, that has to go to.
Yeah,
You have to apply.
you have to apply. Yeah.
And then if side by sides are on the road, can the RCMP patrol them if they're on the road on a short piece?
Yeah,
You guys haven't really talked this out, so if you guys wanna.
Well, it's not.
I
We should clarify.
we don't own the trails, right? We don't,
I know why you guys approved it, right?
No, they
no,
don't.
we don't have any say in the trails.
That, no.
Okay,
No.
well, who approves it, Andy, is it
The problem.
yeah, provincial government?
The trails, that when trails.
Yeah, I knew that, I knew that, yeah, no, it's yeah.
And the Regional Service Commission is weighing in on that, and so.
Andy, all I'm saying is, once you give that walking trail up and say, okay, it's dual use, it's a very busy section.
Oh, I agree.
It's a very busy.
But it's busy in the wintertime with 42 stops and snowmobiles too. So, I'm just trying to,
Oh, I agree.
Both sides of
There's a lot less sleds.
yeah, well, let's let you.
And I know myself, when I sled, Andy, I go out over the hill just as soon as I can.
Yeah,
The trails are better, there's a lot more snow. But I
so, no, I understand all your points. We appreciate
said,
that.
I just come to express that, all right?
No, there's no issue.
I know council, like I said, appreciate everything you do, but it's not, like I said, you know.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Barricades are a really good answer. I think when you purchase a quad or an ATV or whatever, you know that you should be legally having a means of transporting it to all the hundreds of miles of trails and pathways that are available to you that don't comprise one that's accessible to pedestrians. And I think what you see in PEI is barricades work very well. You have to be propitious and have where your placement is, because you can't have them so that the ATVers can circle around them, which they tended to do when we had them up here before. But I think, you know, your riding situation, your threat situation with the quads, not all quads, not the majority by any means, but we're traveling way too quickly and it's numerous. So anybody who's trying to bicycle from Florenceville to Heartland and back, even if you try twinning or something where it's easier and you have more children accessing, that's not taking care of the person that wants to hike out 10 kilometers or so and go beyond those limits that you're talking about. The trails are designed and they're only 6 feet wide, and you need at least a 12 to 14 foot wide trail, 2 ways motorized accessibility. So I'm just saying that you could open your minds up to maybe other possibilities rather than shared use.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, like I said.
Okay, so we're having a public meeting October 23rd. Okay, thanks, Dan. And, next item is correspondence, I guess the Katie Union. So, any volunteers can read that?
I was.
Councillor Klein.
Dear Mayor Harvey, federal government attacks public postal service without cuts. I had written you a few days ago to let you know about the pending mandate review of Canada Post and Canadian Postal Service Charter. It seems the government could not wait for public input and instead chose to announce drastic service cuts. These cuts are based on the Industrial Inquiry Commission (IIC) recommendations made by William Kaplan, a process that had very little public awareness or consultation. The cuts include ending door-to-door delivery for 4 million households, eliminating thousands of jobs, scrapping the moratorium on post office closures, which could lead to degraded service, or the complete removal of community post offices from some municipalities. Degrading service standards for mail, especially when some people still rely on it for daily needs. These cuts will have a particularly hard impact on seniors, people with disabilities, and rural, remote, and Indigenous communities. Minister Lightban made no announcements about how Canada Post could increase services and diversify its revenue streams. Postal workers went on a nationwide strike to protect this vital public service, and because we are still without the new collective agreements after 2 years of negotiations, we know it's not easy for many to live without the high-quality postal service that we are proud to deliver. But we asked for your support in defending our public post office. I am asking municipality to pass or update your resolution to: number 1, demand an immediate halt to service cuts, to look instead for ways to increase its services and revenues in other areas, and that no mandate review take place until Canada Post returns its stabilize operations. 2, ask the government to commit to a fully transparent public process for the upcoming mandate review involving in-depth hearings from all stakeholders in all regions. And 3, make a written or oral submission to the mandate review if you have the capacity and depending upon how the review is structured. Sincerely, Jan Simpson.
Thank you. So that's just correspondence and, I think that for advisement. Okay, next item, under bylaws and policies, there's the DCN municipal plan and zoning bylaw. So this was a process that, began like forever ago, a year and a half ago. So there's a 3-step process for enacting the municipal bylaw, the municipal plan. So the zoning bylaws for everything. So, and then there'll be another scheduled meeting on October 28th, and there'll be another public hearing on Tuesday, December 9th. So this is just like a bylaw we normally read for 3 times, so we need a motion to, then we can have a discussion on that after the motion.
I'll go for it. This is the motion for municipal plan and zoning bylaw adoption process. In the response to the local governance reform and resulting amalgamation of communities within the district of Carleton North, the current land use planning framework comprised of 3 rural plans as well as municipal plan and zoning bylaw is now outdated and misaligned with the new municipal boundaries. The resolution tonight begins the formal adoption process under the Community Planning Act for the District of Carleton North municipal plan and zoning bylaw, including schedule and public presentation, public hearing and referral to the Plan Review and Adjustment Committee for its reviews. The motion be it resolved that the public presentation for municipal bylaw plan P-01 to be scheduled for Tuesday, October the 28th, 2025, the District of Carleton North office, commencing at 7 p.m. Number 2, the public hearing to consider objections to the proposed bylaw P-1 or -0-1 and P-02 be scheduled for Tuesday, December the 9th, 2025, the District of Carleton office, commencing at 7 p.m. And number 3, the municipal plan bylaw P-01 and zoning bylaw P-02 be referred to the Planning Review and Adjustment Committee for its written reviews.
You have a second? So, any comments on that?
There's a lot of information in this and we need to make sure that we go through it with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah.
There's everything from how high your fences to rules on swimming pools, so we need to make sure that we
Yeah.
go through every item and make sure that this is what we want. Because we can change anything and the public can.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what, when they started this process, just a little more background. Part of this reform was, so Florenceville had bylaw and zoning bylaws. Bath had them, Centerville had them. And there was parts of the LST, it was on the southern Carleton plan that come up in the parish of Wilmar. But the rest of the rural areas for the LSTs didn't. So this is gonna make it all one. So, but you're right, we started this process, there was public meetings, people had questions, there's another public meeting, people had more after the draft report. But this final report now you really should take a look at it and make sure it is important when you pass zoning bylaws and planning bylaws. And there is a written component to the PRAC committee, which is of the Regional Service Commission that does our planning and development. So there is, people can, this will be posted, right now, looking at right now, but this will be posted and people can respond to that with written questions and written comments to the PRAC, which is a process into itself. So, so this is just introducing it, but to your point, Deputy Mayor, this is important and you should read it. And
I'm not saying it's negative. I'm
No,
saying
that's
that
right.
we need to be
It's,
very aware.
because zoning and it's all important. Right now, there is no zoning in the LSD areas. And this will be permissive zoning in the sense of it's being viewed as agricultural residential. So it's actually gonna assist and help people that live in the rural areas, protect their way of life, protect their things that they cherish, their open air and their freedom on their own property. So freedom from other people coming in and setting up something next to them that wouldn't be zoned for that. And that's the critical piece. So, anyway, I've lived this and we've lived this with quarries and, lived this with different types of agricultural, industrial type big farms, or, we use that example. But other types of things that would infringe on people's rights as property owners. So this will be a good thing, but on the zoning, on the planning side, it's, there is restrictions now within the old boundaries of Bristol, for Florenceville, Central Bath, in terms of swimming pools, a whole bunch of range of things. And that'll be applied, some of those things will be applied to all this later, I'm saying. So
Yes.
it is very important, so I urge you to read it and, come back to our next meeting with, comments. There's your homework. Yes, so we need to pass that motion.
And it's going to be quite this won't happen, it won't be finalized until sometime in December.
Yeah,
And this is gonna be an
ongoing thing, and we'll,
Yeah.
yeah, and, when we had those public meetings, to be fair, we had, probably upwards of 30 to 40 people at the initial meetings, and the last meetings, there was 10 to 15 or something in some cases, but. So, it's not that it's controversial, it's just that it's very important. Once you pass something, it's there until you amend it, so we must get it right the first time.
Right.
Okay, we got a motion, let's have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you. The next item is, student counselor program. Deputy Mayor.
So I've got Tammy here again, that, we're gonna put the call out for student counselors, to sit on council. So this will be the third year that we've had student counselors on council, and how the policy works is that we work with the Carleton North Student Council, the Rutland High School Student Council, and they will appoint, they have a voting process, they will appoint 2 members. The recommendation is to have 1 member in grade 9 or 10 and 1 member in grade 11 or 12, but if there's no interest in both of those grades, then whichever there is interest for. So I did reach out to the president of Student Council Carleton North, which is our previous student councilor, Sarah Harvey. So they have me slated to present October 22nd at their student council meeting. It's at noon. If any councilor wants to go. If anybody wants to go with me, then feel free to come. And it's gonna be an exciting year because there's gonna be municipal elections, and councilors get to see that process unfold. So the term is from November to June 15th. And they are encouraged to come to all council meetings, but only mandated to come to 1 a month. So hopefully there's interest there for the kids at the high school, and we'll see how much interest we get during the meeting. And that's all I have to say.
That's good, that's good. So just from last year, the previous year, which is a great idea. One of the things I was at UMNB meetings, some of the town council, we talked about different things they had. They loved our idea, but some of them have like a youth council that's 7 or 8 kids, in high school. But, it's just a different format of, engagement with those kids. But if, my only, not concern, but my only input would be the 2 counselors that sit here that they present formally back to the student council, so that but coming here and listening and give their comments is great, but going back to people that really elected them to be here or appointed them to be here, whatever that process is, it's a 2-way street, and they can go back and talk to their student council, which I'm guessing there's 20 on there, or 15 or 20.
It's really few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can speak to them as a Congress and then receive their input on 3 or 4 things. And some of the things we just talked about tonight, like could be on trails, it could be on, you know, whatever, that they want to talk about and bring it back to council. Like a little more interaction, I think would be, encouraged.
I went to one of the council meetings.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few in there, there was probably 16 kids in their council meeting, and they're very hands-on kids. It wasn't just sit back and just do their thing, like they have an agenda, they have it listed, they go through it, and they have, it was, I'm sorry, if you've never gone to one, go to one.
There was even more last year.
Absolutely go to one of their student
Yeah.
council meetings, they're very involved students, it's fantastic to see
We have a lot of activities going on at lunchtime, like.
Yeah, like they're really involved council.
But again, that's a good point, but
I just,
that wasn't really communicated to us.
No,
Like, they're here as council representing those that tell us what they're doing or a little more meat on the bones, so to speak. It's just a constructive
maybe we should give them
thought. And
some things, some,
so,
items to discuss.
yeah,
Just give us some.
a little more dialogue. Anyway, it's good, so.
Yeah.
October 22nd, and, go from there. Thank you very much. And so they'll elect two people,
They appoint them and the principal,
and then
um,
maybe here for
Your
the
thoughts,
28th
then?
meeting. Be sworn in.
No.
I think we talked about November, that's why I was pushing for the 22nd meeting, and then
Do we meet on
I think
October
they'll be-
28th? But if they appointed them on the 22nd, or do they think?
no, there's not, to
That's what
get them interested.
Okay, well, that's fine, whatever the process, fine. Okay, well, thank you very much. The next item is, it's a dangerous unsightly premises file 2025-05. So this is another file that's coming forward, so I'll turn it over to Councillor Connor to have a motion on this and for direction and to read this.
I think Amy.
Or,
I have to
yeah, sorry.
Reba said my whole head's the screen, so I'm really sorry about that.
Sorry, I think we gotta change it.
I can't take.
So, she's normally right here, I just missed her.
Figure out how to change the screen, so that's how it's not fun to do.
Okay,
It's all playing show.
Okay, so I'm going to present this from our public safety manager, Tristan Cipral. So it's for dangerous and unsightly premises file 2025. I believe it's -06, not -05. For PID 100000537 at 185 Juniper Road. So I will give my recommendation after we give some of the background. So the District of Carleton North received complaints on this property. Upon inspection, the property was determined to be in violation of the District of Carleton North's unsightly premises and dangerous buildings and structures bylaw. The building is vacant, unoccupied, and presents a hazard to the safety of the public. The structure is dilapidated and unsound in terms of structural strength. The condition of the property creates potential safety concerns for surrounding residents as well as the general public. The first notice of violation was sent out as required. Subsequent required notifications were issued accordingly, and the notice to comply was issued and registered accordingly in August of 2025. The property owners have failed to respond or take corrective action, and the required timelines and notifications have occurred. So council can choose three different options. Option number one is direct staff to proceed with the recommendation, which I'll review here in a moment. Reject the recommendation and with no action taken, or proceed with legal action to force demolition and cleanup. So the recommendation from our public safety manager and bylaw enforcement officer is that council authorizes administration to undertake the necessary actions up to and including demolition to bring the property located at 185 Juniper Road, Juniper, New Brunswick, PID number 100000537 into bylaw compliance in the most efficient and economical manner possible.
okay. So that's a recommendation from staff. We have a motion on what, or then we have a discussion on that.
so is the actual structure needs to be removed, but
Yes. Yeah, it's a house, that needs to be tore down. If you look through the package, there's photos that we've taken, and you can see that it's in a state of dilapidation and disrepair.
There's a tree growing at the top window.
Yes, there's a tree growing out of the top window, yeah.
Still on the nature.
It's,
So the,
This is the problem with unsightly premises file 025-05. The property at PID 100000537 185 Juniper Road is in violation of the District of Carleton North unsightly premises and dangerous buildings and structure bylaw number S-1. To address this, the town needs to take steps to bring it into compliance. This will include cleaning up the property, removing any dilapidated or structural unsound buildings or structures, removing and filling in the foundation. The goal is to resolve the issue in the fastest and most affordable way. I make a motion that the District of Carleton North Council authorizes town staff to take whatever actions are needed, including demolition, to bring the property at 185 Juniper Road unsightly premises filed number 2025-05, which is in violation of the town's bylaws, into compliance in the quickest and most effective way possible.
second,
Second.
for the question,
I'd like to make a friendly amendment to that motion. I believe the address is 186
No, I mean,
or 185.
it's the premises file, premises file, 20025-06.
That's
They
185.
type.
Okay.
Yes, that's a typo.
all set,
We can change that in the motion.
the motion,
Yeah, should be 2025-06.
Yes, thank you.
I'll second it with,
The amendment.
Brian, second. Okay.
yeah, so everybody's clear, can you just tell me what that was about again, you're trying to?
The
The file number.
the file number was-
Oh.
06-05.
there's just a typo.
It's just a typo.
Oh, okay, so it is 05.
No,
No,
06.
Amy correctly, when she presented.
No, I'm sorry about that, okay. So
Keep making members.
wherever there's, okay, that's fine, wherever that is, the opportunity, okay. All those in favor say aye. Very much, here. Thank you. So next item is, new business council meeting scheduling. So I'll refer to our assistant clerk for maybe an update council on that.
Sure. So with the office closure and Christmas, it's just a request not to have that second meeting in December. We did the same thing last year. Get all the work done before the end of the year, and if there is a need for a special meeting, we just make a motion in that last meeting on the 9th, I believe, to make that special meeting.
The district prices.
So you guys always say it's like Christmas.
Yes, we do. You can come visit us anytime.
The District of Carleton North recognizes the need to adjust the council meeting schedule due to its proximity to the Christmas holidays and upcoming collective break. To ensure efficiency and allow council staff and residents to prepare for the holiday period, it's recommended that the December 23rd, 2025 meeting be canceled. I move the District of Carleton North Council approve the cancellation of regular scheduled council meeting on December 23rd with council reconvening on January 13th, 2026.
Second.
Second. Regular question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any contrary minded? Here. So that's that. Next item is, we received the correspondence from the DTI, the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on a surplus property that was it's in the Bristol area. And they always offer to this family first. So that was in your package.
It's just something in there.
So you-
It's 400.
I don't know which particular property that is, maybe Councillor Bradstreet. Anybody can elaborate on that? Or who's that recommended?
It's the
Believe it's
property, if you're going into Bristol, it's like the third, Yeah, there's like
It's-
two houses and then there's a small vacant piece of land there.
No.
That's where you decide where it says on Robin.
467 square feet.
So it's a major.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can also years ago.
Okay.
that's them. They've already tried to get rid of it once.
Yeah.
And it hasn't gone, so I suggest we let it go back again.
Oh, yeah, okay, so we don't have to, we don't have to proceed on that, we just. Well, we know we need to, just to have staff, that we're not interested, we need to send a letter back. Right. So, you wanna do that, Councillor?
We don't have to do any motion for that, do we?
Well, we,
No, no, all we have to do is just let them know we don't want to buy it. That's all we have to do.
Yeah, we need a motion, but not personal.
okay, I just read this,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we'll just, let direct staff to send a letter back, we're not interested. Okey dokey. That was easy. Next item is, oh, sorry, I skipped that, I'm not on purpose. So waste management services. So we had that presentation, so my recommendation on this with solid waste management is that we don't want to be not pushed, we don't wanna, we just need to take some more time to digest all this and not come to any conclusions. Obviously not tonight, we're not ready to make a decision. There's still facts that we need to look at and,
And we need to explain a little bit what we're talking
So,
about.
well, no, we had a presentation to go to a different, frequency to pick up.
Okay, so.
And we're, in my opinion, we're just not ready to make that decision, on the containers.
Yeah, because they wanted to upgrade the trucks to the arm.
Yeah,
They wanted to get all the
Yeah.
containers, and
So-
they gave us 2 weeks notice.
we're not gonna be rushed into making a decision. I think we need some more time.
When did they want the decision by?
15.
50.
Okay.
That's what it was.
So it's been in the media that Woodstock
Yeah.
has discussed it.
Yeah.
And Heartland has discussed it about
Yeah,
the more frequent garbage pickups. But with that, if it was the more frequent garbage pickup, then it's limited to one container a week and it's smaller, well, smaller than mine, but
yeah,
Smaller than muffins.
smaller than
Yeah.
most. And that,
Sorry.
yeah,
My question is, if we don't move on this, like where they're giving us a deadline of tomorrow, is there gonna be any changes in the way our garbage collection is done right now, or is it just like status quo?
That's what,
Nothing changes.
Nothing.
Size, what you can put out, nothing.
nothing.
and
The contract has been signed until 2020.
We're under contract to December 27, or January 28 actually.
So they can't just go and change it.
Oh, no, the status quo is an option.
and the
I
other,
don't know if they
Yeah.
didn't make a decision,
And there-
if they didn't change, if everybody else.
Yeah.
They were going on board and we're not.
So there's a bunch of issues here that, going weekly pickup obviously is gonna be more costly, because you're picking up 52 times instead of 40. So that's an extra one per month, obviously, and that's gonna be more costly, but at the same time, it's, they wanna go to an automatic arm, which makes sense, with mechanization, automation into the future. Then you have, you know, for picking up garbage, I've seen a lot of the garbage workers picking them up with bags like this, and it's, you do that, that's 700 stops in a day, it adds up, so that's no issues there about going to automation. So the issue is the extra cost that we would have to bear in fiscal year 26, because it would start July 1st to 26. And then the rest of the contract up to all of 27.
and it was
So-
an extension of contract too, correct? They wanted to. lengthen
They
the
want to
contract
extend the
by 5
contract,
years.
which personally, we would never do that, in my opinion, that's just my opinion.
We get a lot of pushback, feedback, complaints, I guess, of not having weekly pickups, that we do have that 1 week that's recycling. Are we getting a lot of people calling in and saying, why don't we have garbage pickup every week?
I think initially it was like the people within the municipalities that used to have it every week and then they lost 1 week, so I think that was the issue.
So do we get a lot of complaints on that?
Not in
No, it's more of, they didn't pick it up, they contact them directly and they can see why they didn't pick it up, and they always go pick it up. Unless they flip it, if they put the wrong thing on.
Mm.
They missed it then.
Yeah.
No, we don't get a lot of complaints on that. Personally, I've observed this in my travels and the greater percentage of people have the larger 360 liter container, the big one with all.
Same size as the blue recycling.
Yeah, the blue recycling was 360 liters and that's same, and a lot of people have that garbage, that green or gray one. For a number of reasons, bigger wheels, easier to move around your driveway, et cetera, but a lot of times, and I've got this from our current collecting company, the JS Bellows, that some weeks they're not out. Like some, if they're going along a route and there's certain homes that don't put it out, they might be away, they may have forgot or whatever. So, and that's when they have the bigger, or they have the garbage bins at the end of the road, or they have the painted a blue bin sometimes. Or they, whatever they have or they have garbage bags out at the end of the road, which is what we're trying to get away from. Whoever, the collecting of it needs to be more automated, but with that automation should be savings. And that's, cause it's, you're gonna have lots of, they're gonna have one person driving the truck instead of two, and that sort of thing. So having said all that, the issue is, if you go to a standardized container for all of our residents, what size should that be? Should it be the 360 liter or the 240 liter? Because, and what if it is the 240 liter or vice versa, what do you do with the ones that have an existing container? Because then now they're gonna have two, and so there's more to be thought out and there's more information that needs to come back to council. And we're just.
And there's a lot of houses that have like bins at the.
And they will just got one container when they stop in the house, right? If you got two regardless.
Yeah, if they're gonna, well, that's what they wanna do is pick up one container, which makes sense. I mean, you have 4 containers out there and you got a lot of garbage. I don't know who has that much garbage, you know what I'm saying? So we're trying to limit the garbage, but the frequency and the size of the container, in my opinion, doesn't limit the garbage. Education is what limits the garbage and other alternatives, composting or, recycling or, and that all comes with education because I'm guilty of that too. Like I probably don't recycle as much as I should.
I guess the only thing that I see, sorry,
Yeah, right.
is if they're gonna go to automation, which is fine, I get automation and one container per household. Most people right now have the bigger garbage cans, and if they drop it down to the smaller side, there's one container per household. I use one container, there's 3 people in one house.
Yeah.
We use one garbage bin and, we don't fill it every week, but there's households out there that have, if you're allowed one bin, they're not gonna want the 240s. They're gonna need that bigger bin. Even though they're doing the thing up an extra week, I still don't.
No, I agree.
Dollar bins and.
Yeah.
And I like the bigger bin because I have bigger wheels to go
If
in
you
the
have a long drive, I have one drive, I'm really long.
So, and I have a bigger van for that reason. When I bought it, I built my house, the bigger wheels. It's just, and some weeks, if I forget to put it out,
I'm okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay, right?
Yeah.
But not too, so, and I think, so when there's more to this and we just need one more time to come back to council with options and clear cut discussion of where our direction should be and what we should be looking at because, I think we need to explore other options, knowing where we may go. I mean, the easiest thing to do is say yes to development for the current collector. And we go from half of 26 and all of 27 with the extra money. But there's more to it than that. And So I think we need to take a deeper dive into it, so. And I'll just convey that to them, that we're not ready to make a decision yet, because the only reason that they want Carleton, Woodstock, and Carleton North to do it all together is for the frequency of the pickups and the utilization of the trucks, which I can understand that argument. For, you know, and better utilization for their vehicles, it's gonna keep the cost down. Because right now we have 4 days to pick up, and this would, you know, right in currently, there's in Carleton North, and Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So anyway, a little more discussion, a little more information for council before we make a decision, in my opinion, so. And if you're talking to your neighbors, or, like I did that yesterday, I was driving through Beechwood and Upper Camp, and, because that's the garbage area you picked up on Monday, and you just do a survey, it literally, now you can see the garbage, how it's being put out to the roadside, and.
Yeah.
And if you start making changes to that system, you gotta have all your ducks in a row before you start making a lot of changes to people's, what that looks like, you know? And even though there could be a group buying of the bin size, whatever we bring to, I talked to other Purpose Commission, but I talked to other communities that use the 360s in Southern Victoria and Philly Valley. So they promote 360 liter containers. So anyway, there's more discussion. And come back to council with more information. Okay. So next item is council statements. Anything you want to say, or just, and we'll not what you've done in the last 3 weeks, but.
I just have a couple things coming up in my area this weekend. There's a quilt show with silent auction at the Juniper Community Center on Saturday from 10 to 2. And on Sunday at the Glasswood Community Center, there's a tea social with your neighbors. From 12:30 to 3 with special singers. Oops, won't be me singing though. That's it for me.
I've got a thing.
I know a few,
Stuff I done.
a few of us,
Well, you can say that too.
yeah. I know a few of us attended, the recognition event for Dr. Collin and Dr. Reese Walker, and they gifted their medical office in the previous FAP hospital to the Riverview Manor. So I know Councillor Stewart and Mayor Harvey and myself and Councillor Oates and Councillor Dickinson were all in attendance. It was a very, very nice event. They had a key, a big iron, and they passed the key and they're gonna display the key on the wall. It was very symbolic,
That was a good day.
a great gift.
Big gift. Thank you to the Walker family. And that's where basically the nursing home, the walls, is gonna go operate from that area, I guess. But owned by the offices by the Riverview Manor. Councilor Dixon, do you wanna, anything?
This past weekend and weekend before, a lot of us attended the UMMB meetings. There was some good conversation there. I did get to meet with Minister Dr. Dornan, John Dornan, and Margaret about healthcare files that I've been pushing. And I did get some information from them, which I'll pass on an email later. But with regards to that recognition, I can attest that the Nursing Home Without Walls crew is very excited to have that facility, and just, they've already got plans on what's gonna be running there. So I mean, that was one of those things that is really gonna help the community in that initiative drive forward. Other than that, I guess just the meeting next Thursday, 23rd.
Okay. Councilor Bradstreet.
This weekend is the opening for a show at the art gallery at 2 o'clock. It's 2 to 4, so period would be there.
What is the show? What is
Totality.
That's right.
So that should be good. And then there's craft fair this weekend as well at the Kinsler.
9 to.
Yes.
Very nice.
There.
Okay, Councillor Watson, what's on your mind?
Pull up a chair, we'll be here all night. There is a benefit breakfast at the Sun Elks on Saturday for Heather White, if anybody wants to go attend that. And just on a side note, we lost one of our workers at Mountain View Packers. He was a great man, very good worker, and I just want to give condolences to his family. That's that.
Good. Deputy Mayor?
4-H is starting out this Thursday, open meeting at the Kings Club for any members that want to join. Also, I was wondering, have we heard anything with the school? Because I'm hearing, I heard something in the soccer game tonight that they're gonna have an announcement in 2 weeks.
You want to know
Where
what's going on, you go to soccer.
Where the school is gonna be.
Well,
Have we received any update?
no,
No.
last correspondence was, education still debating on the location. That's what we heard, so.
Maybe it'll be 2 weeks.
And we kept pushing for Florenceville location, but, you know. but hopefully that'll come to fruition. See,
Do we also know on the bridge, when's it gonna open? It's too late. Do we know anything?
Yeah, when's that coming down?
well, we, officially we don't know, but unofficially, we hope
For this.
That last closure, is
Yeah.
that,
they don't need the last
I would
closure.
say that's.
So they're working now to, tidy everything up. But going to that weekend closure in September, they could do things quicker. They're racing against time with the weather right a little bit. I'm driving today, but it could change anytime, and so we'll just, there's no sense saying the date because we don't know, but what, you know, we hope it's gonna be soon. The word of government is soon.
So, are they gonna put lights clear across it anymore, or is that?
Oh, yeah, it has to be lit. They have
So
to
is that
put
something that hasn't happened before?
Whether there will be lights on the bridge eventually, I just don't know.
Bases are on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what we'll do, I'll get I'll try to get our director of operations to get he has a relationship there with DTI on the month and try
We're
to.
never gonna tell you a date.
They won't give us the exact date,
Okay.
maybe an update of their timeline.
Look at that.
Then we can send it to council,
They better smart.
but we try to share it with the public what we can share, but they don't tell us to really categorically, these are dates, but it's looking good, I'll say that, you know, things are progressing good there.
It looks like we moved backwards though, when we got the light underneath.
Yeah.
Well, as always, when they're working up above, they have to be safe, right, you know, so.
I don't think we'll stop if they fall.
So, yeah. So I got a few things are coming up and, the Councillor Bradshaw mentioned the art gallery. Yeah, that's a big thing on Saturday. I sent a notice on that. And next, as I mentioned earlier, next two Wednesday nights, on the 22nd is the Harvest Coast proposal there for, Youth Addiction Center in Divine. So if you can make that, the trails meetings on the 23rd here in Florenceville. People will be there to express their opinions on use of trails, and that's good. And then, I just got this confirmed today, so we've been asking for a meeting with, public safety on our police proposal that we sent in way back, and that's not going anywhere right now because they're still negotiating with the other municipalities that had municipal policing are taking over areas such as Woodstock's taking over all that area that they inherited for the LSPs. So that's an issue. Grand Falls is doing the same thing, Edmiston. So ours is on the back burner, but so we requested a meeting a long time ago to talk about our proposal a bit more in depth on the technical side, not really on the government side, but you know, we have John DeWinter. So we're gonna meet, they get back to us, we're gonna have a meeting next Friday in Fredericton, so John DeWinter will be the chair of the committee, with Councillor Oaks and our CAO, myself. And then, two people from Carleton will go, and, just to talk about that, and we sent a letter to the new, RCP commander in Fredericton. I met him at UMNB. And, just informally, I met him, he was there, and, so we sent a letter about our concerns are still there about visibility, presence, accountability, cost, obviously, and, so we invited them to come up and, because we still feel that whatever happens in Woodstock, there still may be a potential there that they may be looking for an alternative site for a detachment, that's a potential, so. We wanna, because I think whatever the police force is, having a detachment like they used to have in Florenceville, to me, is a game changer. Because within Florenceville, our radius around 20 to 25 minutes, you can be anywhere, District Carleton, North or Heartland. And it's centrally located, it would serve, it would have more of a presence in the community. And I think it's something we can work towards in terms of, if it wasn't a detachment here, that in terms of people living here, yes, you can't force them to live here, but we can offer, not incentives even, but encouragement to live here. In, like they used to live in Florence, Bristol, Sunderland, Bath, and surrounding areas. So I think that's a discussion where they're still having. So we invited the new commander to come out and meet with council. I sent him a letter and hopefully he'll be able to come up and we'll definitely have a conversation as council with them and go from there. And so that meeting is on the 24th, is really on our proposal that we present. We just want to see where that may go in the future. And the province is looking at policing in general with their contract with the RCMP. It's up in 2032, and whatever that looks like, whatever. So we just keep pushing it. So one thing, so that on the 25th, there's two events. The haunted trail. So I'll let you maybe go back to that, but that's a big event for our district that board and departments working on, councillors, and then we also have our sports wall recognition meeting that day at the multiplex. So the three inductees, all councils are invited, you can walk down to that. It's there's a central basketball team from the 60s, and then Frank Clough is a builder official that coached that team, but also referee and coach basketball for 50 years. And the other one is Joe Trevor Senior, who's from the Lumberjack, he's in the Canadian Lumberjack Hall of Fame. So we figured he should be in the Carleton North Hall of Fame, or the committee did. So those are the three inductees. So you're more than welcome to attend that at the multiplex. That's from 2 to 4, and on the trails is alternative. So one other thing I want to mention, you mentioned that in a minute, is so on a personal note, this Friday, and I promise I won't cry, but this Friday I get a chance to go. So my son in 2021 graduated from Acadia, and we're very proud of him, and he's working in his field of chemistry. So during COVID, he didn't have a graduation. So they're having the graduation this Friday at Acadia. We're going down to, all of our families would be there, and, he has his graduation. So he's got 1 minute of fame, or 30 seconds actually, and then they're gonna rush them all through, because it's during their homecoming weekend, and so we're going to Acadia on Friday, Wolfville, Nova Scotia, and that should be a fun day, so. And then one last thing is, as I mentioned earlier, November 5th, because we won't be meeting, we'll be meeting on the 28th, so the meeting in Glasgow, November 5th with the wind project, so. Councillor Bradstreet on the trail.
October 25th, there's lots going on that day. It was at the Civic Center, it's the escape room.
Oh, the escape room.
Yeah, so that's one thing. The trunk or treat is happening at Riverside Park for the kids. And then starting at 5 o'clock is the haunted trail, and it's gonna be bigger and better than last year. And don't forget that we need adults to help out. So Wendy, if you're around. Yeah, so we still need a few adults.
Do you have any councillors helping?
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna be in St. John's.
I am so happy, that's so much fun this year.
Okay, that's good. That's a good event. Our staff doing a great job, the recreation tours and all those stuff. Yeah.
How many people went through last year?
It's huge.
It was a lot, I don't know.
No one kept count?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a year ago, I would remember. We had that year.
It's like 500.
Okay, I was thinking that.
But
Yeah,
this
it's about
year. it's
500.
gonna be- Yeah, this year I think it's gonna be better because there's not as much going on. So the Woodstock headlines aren't happening this year.
Okay.
So that's a plus there. Carleton is doing theirs on Friday.
Okay.
I didn't see that they posted, I didn't see the date.
Friday.
So, and another one, I mean, you can always take in more than one because the Carleton County Toy Run is having theirs as well.
Yes, they
On
do.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
So theirs goes from
This is later.
6 to 9.
Yeah.
Ours goes from 5 to 9.
Okay.
So,
So we get some both.
yeah, you can get them both.
Just want to note for the escape room that it's admission by donation of non-perishable food items. I believe they're gonna go to We've Got Your Back. So bring your non-perishables and that's your going to be. And they're also doing a free Halloween escape the Friday at 6:45 to 7:45, and that's also free at the NCCC.
Good. So need a motion for adjournment?
Make motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Carried.